Once upon a time, in the heart of a small village, there lived a wise and kind king named Akachi. He ruled the village with fairness and justice, and the people admired and respected him greatly. However, not everyone in the village was content with Akachi's leadership. A jealous and power-hungry man named Abba had always harbored resentment towards King Akachi. Abba believed that he deserved to be the king, and he plotted, seeking a way to take over the leadership. He conspired with others who shared his discontent, forming a secret alliance against the king. One day, Abba and his conspirators devised a cunning plan to discredit Akachi and force him out of the village. They spread lies and rumors, tarnishing the king's reputation and turning the villagers against him. They convinced young women in the village to testify that he's trying to lure them into having an inappropriate relationship with him, while other young men confessed that they were cheated and defrauded by the king. Some even claimed that he is cheating the villagers by enriching himself with taxpayers' money. Despite the king's innocence, the people began to doubt his leadership, and a cloud of mistrust descended upon the once harmonious village. Saying that their plot hasn't really won the majority over, Abba traveled to his mother's village and brought back with him two of his distant female relatives. Both of them were claimed to be pregnant for Akachi. On seeing real proof, the villagers could not help but wonder if Akachi was really who they thought he was. Akachi, wise and patient, knew that revenge was a dish best served cold. Instead of acting impulsively, he decided to let time unfold the truth. He stepped down from his position as king, surprising everyone in the village. Abba seized the opportunity and assumed the role he had long coveted. As Abba took charge, the village experienced a period of chaos and suffering. The once thriving community faced hardships. He doubled the tax requirement. He enforced a law that required that the villagers bring half of their farm produce every harvest time. Once every week, he will send men to the marketplaces to forcefully take people's goods and money. And the people regretted their hasty decision. Abba's true nature, filled with greed and selfishness, became apparent, and the villagers realized that they had been deceived. Akachi, watching in silence, observed the suffering of the people he once led. He knew it was time to set things right. With the help of his loyal friends who had remained true to him, Akachi began thinking of a smart way to expose and punish Abba. Akachi understood that to bring justice and expose Abba's true nature, he needed irrefutable evidence that would not only clear his name, but also reveal Abba's involvement in his scandal. He began by discreetly gathering information and investigating the false accusations that had been spread against him. And in order for the villagers to trust him again, he needed to regain their trust. One by one, Akachi uncovered the truth behind the testimonies. He found witnesses who could attest to the fact that the young women had been coerced into making false claims against him. He also discovered that the young men who accused him of fraud had been manipulated by Abba and his conspirators, who had a personal vendetta against Akachi. Now, it was time to expose Abba. But how will they succeed? Abba had grown really strong and powerful. He will not fail to get rid of anyone who opposes or threatens him. Akachi sought the advice of a wise storyteller from a different village. This storyteller was well known in all the lands. In fact, you are considered influential if he ever grants you audience. After hearing the people's dilemma, the storyteller agreed to help them. This is the plan. He traveled to their village and informed Abba that he had heard so much about him. Now he had come to see for himself and show his respect. As a gift to honor Abba, he should make an announcement throughout the village that the wisest storyteller is in their midst, and in a few days he will tell his story of wisdom to the whole village, and whoever has any questions or dealing with a difficult situation can sort him out. After listening to the wise man, Abba said in a prideful and arrogant manner, "Wow, how blessed I am. The wisest man of our time is under my roof without me paying or even lifting a finger to bring him here. My glory must have reached the whole world. Ha ha ha. And I'm sure so many others are waiting in line to seek my audience. Abba, you have lived a good life. You have made a name for yourself. Your glory has reached even the highest heaven." Turning to look at the storyteller, he said, "Well, I have considered your offer, and it will be inconsiderate to your feelings if I deny you this opportunity. So, yeah, I agree. I will grant you the privilege of telling your stories to me and my people." "But wait," he said. "Why do I have to hear the stories at the same time with my common people? That would be an insult to my person. No. I won't let that happen. First, you give me a private audience. After that, you can gather the people in the marketplace or public square or even in the woods. Do what you want." He laughed in amusement. On seeing his reaction, the storyteller saw firsthand what the people were going through. So he decided to teach Abba a lesson he will never forget in his life. A lesson to break his ego and humiliate him. The wise storyteller, with a glint of mischief in his eyes, agreed to Abba's conditions with a gracious smile. He assured Abba that he would indeed have a private audience before the public storytelling event. As the days passed, Abba eagerly awaited the private session, envisioning himself as the center of attention, basking in the wisdom that he believed would be exclusively bestowed upon him. Little did he know that the storyteller had a clever plan in mind to humiliate him. After some days, the storyteller went into Abba. He told Abba that in order for the session to be truly memorable experience and with a personal touch, no one else should hear the story except him. Even his guards should not be allowed to listen in. And the only place they can get absolute privacy is a secret house that he had prepared. This house was made with the finest material that has never been used. All of this I made because of how high in esteem I hold you." This Abba gratefully agreed to, his ego swelling to the rooftop. The day finally arrived, and the two of them journeyed to the secret house where the story will be told. On getting there, Abba was really impressed at how beautiful and breathtaking the house looks. It was completed with the best materials, and it screams royalty. As the private storytelling session unfolded, the wise storyteller skillfully told stories that mirrored Abba's action and character, without directly addressing him. The tales painted vivid pictures of a ruler who, blinded by arrogance and a thirst of power, led his people to ruin. Abba, unaware of the parallels, listened intensely, thinking the stories were mere entertainment. After the session, Abba, still feeling triumphant, dismissed the storyteller with a sense of self-satisfaction. The storyteller, however, had planted seeds of doubt and reflection in Abba's mind. And just when he was about taking his leave, Abba started to recognize the resemblance between the stories and his actions. His arrogance began to flare, and he sprang up in rage. As soon as the storyteller saw his reactions, he quickly ran outside and closed the doors behind him. The storyteller abandoned him there in the house, deep in the woods, a place where even his guards will never imagine they could find him. When he returned to the village, he told Akachi that he could begin his process of restoring the village, but he refused to divulge any information regarding where Abba is. The following day, the entire village gathered in a market square, eagerly anticipating the grand storytelling event. As the storyteller took center stage, he began recounting tales that echoed the challenges and suffering the villagers had endured under Abba's rule. The stories resonated with the crowd, drawing gasps of sadness and tears. As the story concludes, it felt like a scale fell off their eyes filled with disappointment and anger. Now enlightened and angered by the revelation, they demanded justice. They all marched to the palace in one voice to forcefully remove Abba from his position. But Abba was nowhere to be found, and the men were too afraid to attack the people. They eventually joined them in the protest, as they were also victims of his harsh treatment. They chose to reinstate Akachi as the chief, and the process of restoration began immediately. In the meantime, Abba, realizing how he had been tricked, did all he could to escape, but to no avail. The storyteller made sure he had everything he needed to sustain himself in the time being. At first, it was really challenging as he couldn't bring himself to do anything for himself. But on realizing that this will be his new reality, till who knows when, he learned self-sustenance. Under the wise rule of Akachi, the village just gradually returned to normal. The people regained their joy and life became as peaceful as it used to be before the tyrant ruler. On seeing that things had returned to normal, the storyteller, with the help of some men in the kingdom, went into the woods to release Abba. He was brought back like a prisoner and thrown in the dungeon. He was surprised at how things had changed, and the hard realization hit him hard. His property were confiscated, and he was left in prison for as long as possible. In the end, justice prevailed, and the village learned the profound lessons that revenge, when served with justice and patience, could lead to the exposure of the wicked and the restoration of justice and harmony. The storyteller's cunning plan had not only humbled Abba, but had also instilled in the villagers a renewed appreciation for the importance of truth, justice, and the wise leadership of Chief Akachi. This is a story my mother told me. If you enjoyed watching this video, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends, as these help us grow. Thank you, and see you in our next story. Bye!